One of the cooler things that you can do from SSIS is prettify things. And when I say prettify, I recognize that that may not be a word you know, or that you maybe can't understand me. So let's change this. Maybe spelling it will make it a word because it really isn't, I don't think, a real word. Basically, we want to take something and make it look better, more presentable, more usable by a user. So what's one of the things that you often use SSIS to do? Create Excel files? I know I do. That may not be part of your job, but I know a lot of people around the world use SSIS, and the output of a package would be an Excel spreadsheet, for example. So I'm going to show you how we can use .NET with Microsoft Office, and we can prettify our Excel spreadsheets. So you know what I mean, right? I mean, you get, let's just create a junky little package here to give us something basic. I don't worry about what I'm doing in terms of like, hey, that's cool. How did he do that? I don't know. I'm just gonna pick up some stuff here at random. Let me actually get this, and so all I'm doing is creating an Excel spreadsheet, and we'll just go to 2003 to make it C Excel .xls, and let's hope that we don't get the dreaded error. Thank you. Okay, so 30 seconds to create that, the output of which looks like this. And so, of course, what's the first thing that you've got to do to make this usable? Well, gosh, I got to go in here and I got to spread these guys apart. And I know some of you guys know the the keyboard sequences. And then, gosh, that'd be better if it was centered. And, I'd really like that to be bold. And, oh, that's an awesome color. And a little bigger font. Maybe, well, now I got to resize, right? And, hey, let's make that guy centered as well. So, where I come in is, wouldn't it be cool if we could send the Excel spreadsheet after it had already been prettified? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, and however many videos it takes. It's probably going to take us 2 or 3 videos to get this full package done because there's a lot to consider, the least of which, is how to colorize here. Okay, so you got the idea? At the end of what we want to do, we want to send an Excel spreadsheet that looks good, that we would actually be happy to receive ourselves. Okay, so to do this, you're going to need to know some .NET. Now, the .NET code, surprisingly, is not going to come into play just yet. We need to do a good bit of other work first. I'm going to name this package Excel 01. Okay. Well, it doesn't like Excel 01. So this is chapter 7. This is Excel 01. Maybe that'll do it. What am I doing wrong? I'm not reading the error message. What does it say? Um, I must have used a wrong word or a wrong character. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry. So here's, we got to come up with how we're going to do this here. So we want uh, a package that accepts a customer ID and outputs that customer's orders to a prettified Excel spreadsheet. And later in the next couple of videos, we're going to email that in a fancy HTML-based email. Okay, so we'll just kind of build upon this. Now, there's going to be a couple of things here is if the file already exists, we have to delete it. So that means if we delete the file and then we recreate it, we have to recreate the table. So recreate the file if it no longer / didn't exist. And let's see, then we need to export the data. Come on. And then we need to Prettify. So let me just think about this, make sure that that's really the 4 steps here. File exists, we delete it, we recreate the file, we export the data. Yeah, there's one other little bitty thing that doesn't require another step in here, but we have to have a dynamic query to do this. So, because we're passing in a customer ID up here, right? So how are you going to make that available? With a variable, right? So we're going to have to make a dynamic SQL statement that is a source so that we actually can export our data. Okay, so let me save that as project requirements, projects, so that we can refer back to that. And so let's come up here and just do step 1, delete the file if it exists. And of course that's too tiny. So we'll make it 14. And to delete the file, we need a file system task. Delete file. And, you know, this really makes more sense if it's in a variable so that we can change the location of the file name if we need to. So I'm going to make a variable called Excel file. Be a string, and we'll just make it, I like to make called control file, because we're going to need a control file to start this out with. We need our data flow and everything. So control file, and I'll do Excel 2003. So move you over here. So we delete the file. We choose over here that we want to delete a file. And is this file name in a variable? Yes. Yes, thank you for asking. And we go down here and that's it. Now this will not error out if the file does not exist. If the file does not exist, it doesn't delete it. If the file exists, then it deletes it. About the only things that would cause that to error out is if it was unable to acquire an exclusive lock on that particular file. Okay, so I wish I could copy and paste, but I can't. So step 2, we need to create the file and the worksheet. That's enough, right? So I'm going to put this over here. So this is really a 2-step deal. We need to make sure that the file exists. Then we need to create it. Well, if we set up our connection manager correctly, then it will automatically create it. So let's do this. Let's come over here. Let's get an execute SQL task. I know this seems kind of odd. So let's now create the worksheet. Come back, maybe bring these guys over a wee bit. All right, that'll work. So coming down to our worksheet, and I know it seems weird to create a worksheet, but we're going to hook up to our Excel connection manager, and we're going to browse to the control file. Well, here's one of those areas where it's a little bit strange. You've made a connection manager to a file that does not exist. SSIS will create that file for you. So you just need to know what the syntax is. All right, well, I'm going to say create table customer orders. And customer ID is a long data type, and we'll have like sales order ID be a long data type. These are your Excel data types. And like sales, I'm just going to get some sales data here and say okay, and I'm cool. I'm just